Hi, this is Matt from tracymatt.co.uk and for unboxings.com, and here I have the Samsung S560. Obviously this one in particular is an orange branded handset. The S560 is also known as the Samsung Hali, Samsung Player or the Samsung Star 3G on other networks, but as I say, this one is the orange version. So let's have a look inside the box. First of all, we have PC Studio software on CD-ROM. We have a user manual and warranty card, extremely thin, lightweight information there. Have the handset itself, this one being white and silver, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail in just a second. Have a battery, which is pretty standard size for Samsung, 960 milliamp hours, quite thin, quite lightweight. Then we have a USB sync charge cable, which is standard USB to micro USB connector. We then have then we have a inline microphone. So we have connector on one end, as you can see there, and then we have an inline microphone with a push button and a clip, and it does have a standard 3.5mm socket on the other end, so that will allow you to use your own headphones in conjunction with this as a wired headset, which is quite cool. Then have the charger itself, which is again micro USB, and then a standard 3-pin UK plug. And then we do have a set of headphones, which have a 3.5mm plug on one end, and then obviously the headphones on the other end. They don't look to be too bad, they're quite weighty, and they look reasonably decent in-ear style headphones, so that's quite cool. We'll comment on how good they are when it comes to the full review. That's all there is in the box, and so back to the handset itself. Looking similar to some of the other Samsung handsets we've seen just lately, kind of similar design to the Jet, as you probably see here. In terms of the streamline sort of end, as you can see, very, very similar. So on the front we have a forward-facing camera for video conferencing. We have a 240 by 320 pixel screen, which is 2.8-inch diagonal. D-pad underneath that, and then our phone keys underneath that, either side. So your red and green, your answer and sort of hang-up buttons. The hang-up one also doubling up as the power button. On the right hand side we have a dedicated camera button and then a lock button. On the top we have our micro USB sync charge and headphone socket under a cover. Then we have an up down style volume rocker on the left hand side, and really nothing to speak of on the bottom apart from the microphone hole there. Back cover lifts off quite easily like so. There we have a space for a micro SD card here and our SIM card just here. You notice that we do have to actually remove the battery in order to access the micro SD card, which is a bit of a pity, so we do actually have to power the handset off to swap the SIM card. It does support up to 16 gig micro SD HD memory card though, so that's quite cool. Battery pops in like so, and the cover pops on quite easily like that. Let's just power up. And let me run down the rest of the specification. It is quad band, so you can use it pretty much anywhere around the world, and dual band for HSDPA. 102mm from top to bottom, with 54.8mm wide and just under 13mm thick. Quite lightweight, only 96 grams. Capacity of touchscreen, which means that it's extremely sensitive to the touch. And then we have a series of widgets down the side. You'll notice that these widgets and the icons and everything else have been orange customized, so they have this sort of orange look to them, and which is sort of fairly similar across the orange handset range. But we can turn the widgets on and off, and we can move them out of the way on the side. We can then go into the dialer, and because it is a capacitive screen, it's extremely sensitive. Every time I'm touching the screen there is a vibrate from inside, sort of a certain amount of haptic feedback. But as I say, touchscreen is extremely sensitive, as you can see there. That's appearing quite well on the dialer. And if we come back out of there, we have our address book, which, as you'd expect, is currently empty. And then we have our messaging client for email, and we can have our inbox and outbox and drafts and so on. Then we have a full menu with all of our different functions on there. So we've got a media album, games, messaging, Orange World, music store, organizer, and call history. Oops, I'll just pop back into there. Call history, then our settings. There isn't another page of applications, but we do have a thing for going into widgets. The main screen does have sort of 3 pages that we can scroll across, which I'm kind of struggling to do just at the moment. We can scroll across 3 pages worth of widgets, and we can move the widgets around the screen. So obviously the Orange World is a widget that we can move around the main screen and we can leave in place, and in the menu we can actually change our widgets and everything else, and in settings we can go into different profiles and phone settings and smart lock and everything else. Some other bits and pieces on there. Haven't had a chance to really use the handset in any more detail than you've just seen me unbox. Does seem impressive, and it is quite lightweight, not a bad looking handset. On the back we do have a 3.2 megapixel camera with a built-in flash. There is no mirror for taking self-portraits, but yeah, you could probably do that with the sort of shiny area around the actual camera lens itself. In terms of the rest of the specification then, we do have built-in Bluetooth 2 with A2DP support. We also have a built-in accelerometer. We also have a, as I say, forward-facing Quarter-VGA camera for video conferencing. We support MMS and SMS and MMS as you'd expect. We also email support. We have a built-in FM radio with RDS, and then we can download all sorts of other applications. We do also have built-in GPS, which is quite cool. Whether or not that supports geotagging, not really sure, but we'll actually comment on that when it comes to do the full review. We support WAP and all those sorts of things that you'd expect, downloadable games and other applications. Standby time is listed at 300 hours and talk time at just 3 hours, which is possibly on the low side, but we'll comment on that when we actually come to do the full review. Our internal memory is only 80 megabytes, so if you're going to be using it for taking many photographs or for audio, then you're certainly going to want to have a micro SD memory card in use. Otherwise 80 meg isn't going to get you very far. I think that's really about it in terms of the sort of main specification. We'll be doing a full review for you on tracyandmatt.co.uk, which will be online in the next couple of weeks. And in the meantime, if you want to check out any of our other unboxing videos, you can find those on unboxings.com.